Hey everybody, Kelly Engineer here, and welcome to episode 10 of Journey Across the Void. In between episodes, I was really just working on the Triskelion and getting stuff prepared to do episode 2 of Kelly Construction for the Triskelion. What that entailed was just using a lot of sand to turn into clear glass. I have it all over here in this adjustable storage unit, and I'm making the clear glass. It's going to be dark clear glass, and yeah, I'll go over all of that when I actually start episode 2 of Kelly Construction. I also have this, and it's full of ice balls. I was trying to quicken the pace for making this glass by using the Smeltery IO casting machine, and yeah, I don't really like it. So the casting machine, I'll place it here, but whenever I started to pump the ice balls in, because it requires either snowballs or ice balls, I did not see those before. I should probably try that again. But because whenever it filled up the ice balls in here, it would immediately go into this slot. Since I had a basin upgrade in here, then that means I didn't need to put anything. Since the ice balls went in here, this still needs to be blank in order to make the glass that I wanted. It was a little wonky, so I just got rid of it, and I'm using fluid conduits now. But I may set this back up now that I noticed those two icons. Regardless, that's really all I was doing in between episodes. In order to craft those ice balls, down here, I have water going into a glacial precipitator. The glacial precipitator is making snowballs and funneling them into this autocrafter from Cyclic. It's making the ice balls and then funneling those into the ender chest. It's pretty simple, but whatever. I also made a magnet, a fluxo magnet for resonant, and I have yet to complete those quests in thermal. But yeah, I also made a flux bore all the way to resonant, and I didn't really like that, so I got rid of it. But yeah, the flux bore and magnet quests have been completed. In regards to the Triskelion, I'm not going to move anything over from my platform over into that Triskelion just yet. I'm going to complete the Three Towers portion of it, which requires the giant disc on top, and then throwing in all of the windows where necessary. So once I complete this, I'm actually going to release a world download, but I don't want any of my stuff inside the world download because I just want people to be able to do whatever with this build, whatever they want. So yeah, none of my stuff is going to be in here. It's just going to be a blank slate for whatever anybody wants to do with it. But yeah, so I am going to keep everything limited to this platform in this episode, at least until I release the world download. In any case, what I want to do in this episode is I actually want to do two things. The first thing I want to do is I want to get into my fluid cows. So I need to make a mob duplicator and a mob imprisonment tool in order to start duplicating all of the fluid cows. I want all of them. And yeah, that's really all there is to that. I also want to get working on Cyberware. And Cyberware is actually in the quest pack as what? Yeah, Robots Are Us. So I have not played with Cyberware, and I think it was a different mod name back in 1.7. But I have not played with it since 1.7, and I want to get into it. Looking over the items that are inside JEI, there's not an instruction manual for this, so I'm going to be flying by the seat of my pants trying to figure out how this works, because it has been a while. Now, to make a mob imprisonment tool, I am going to need gas tiers, and gas tiers should be pretty easy to get if you've been sieving netherrack at this point, or if you have a deep mob farm. And oh, I need to fix this because I don't have any pristine parts going in here anymore. Yeah, I have nothing making bones. Alright, well, that's a problem I'm going to have to solve soon enough, but that can wait for now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to craft hellish matter using overworldian matter, and all you have to do is just put it in a diamond shape, put some netherrack in there, and bam, you have hellish matter. Now that I have 2 stacks, all you have to do is just put a stack, a spider eye, and some sugar, and bam, you get 3 gas tiers. So I have plenty of gas tiers at this point, and I already had gas tiers. I just wanted to illustrate that point. Oh, and I'm sorry if it's a little choppy over here. I don't know why, but it is perfectly fine for me. Yeah, it's perfectly smooth for me. My capture is very choppy in this area, so I'll try to keep it slow to keep the choppiness at a minimum. But yeah, I'm sorry if some of it slips through in the capture. But anyway, with these gas tiers, all I need is some plastic, surround it, and I will have a mob imprisonment tool. Now, the mob imprisonment tool is a little bit different than what I've been using to capture the cows at this point, which is this cow halter, because the cow halter turns cows into an item. whereas the mob imprisonment tool is what I'm going to need to put into the mob duplicator. So I just got done sieving up some soul sand, and soul sand inside a string mesh will get me nether wart. Nether wart is what I needed in order for the mob duplicator, and I'm ready to move on. I also got magma cream, and the magma cream was gotten via the the magma stone that I mined up on my first trip to the nether, and the soul sand I actually got via hellish matter. So hellish matter gives you a chance to make 2 stacks, 4 stacks of soul sand. So a stack of hellish matter, a stack of sand, and you'll have 4 stacks of soul sand. So that was easy enough. Deep mob learning's already coming in handy for me. And now that we've created the mob duplicator, I also want to try out a little experiment. So I made a lava fabricator also from industrial foregoing, and I'm going to set all of that up over here because I want to try out a little experiment. I'm going to have the lava fabricator, which of course does need power, and that's it. All it needs is power. Yeah, I'm going to place down an upgradable geothermal generator and put in speed modifiers, which are super simple to make. Whoop. It's just the modifier components, gold and redstones, and the modifier components require black concrete powder and blocks of iron. Yeah, they're super easy to make. So every single one of my geothermal generators down here has 64 of them in there, and yeah, it's like I've never run out of power at all using these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect a flux duct up to these, and I need to get it started a little bit. So let's, I have lava over here. So I'm going to pump in a little bit of lava just to get this geothermal generator started. And where is my fluid duct? I'm going to need a servo for this as well. Dang it. Here we are. So it is already generating a bunch of power. That power is going in here and making me the lava. And I'm going to immediately pump that lava back into the thermal generator. I can get rid of this now. And boom. Alright, so I just want to see whether or not I can make a perpetual motion machine. Since I have 64 speed modifiers in here, I should be able to. Oh, should probably turn the servo on. There we go. Alright, it is making... It is more than making the power. It is taking the power, siphoning it into here. This may not be enough. Yeah, this burns through the lava way too quickly. So it is getting a little bit of lava, but not enough to keep the power going. So yeah, this is a dud, but it was a nice experiment while it lasted. If I had set up a couple more of the lava fabricators to go in here, then it would be no problem whatsoever. But yeah, there it is. It's out of lava and power. Alright, so we're going to have to try something else if we want to power the mob duplicator. Alright, the mob duplicator is hooked up. It has its power, but I still need essence. So, as I demonstrated in a previous episode, I can get essence very easily by a, let's just go down here. With the use of the fluid dictionary converter, I can convert all of my XP into essence, no problem. However, there's another way to do this. Because I have the Triskelion all hooked up and I have that massive grass patch down at the bottom, getting fluid cows has never been easier. All I do is I just go on killing sprees around this circle, killing all of the mobs, and by the time I get all the way around to the other end, mobs have continued to spawn, and I've gotten quite a bit of fluid cows because of this. I haven't gone for a purge in quite a while, but I have a lot more fluid cows than I did before, and they're all stored in this chest right here. One of the cows that I managed to get, if anybody knows what wub wub juice is for, please tell me, because I cannot find any information on what wub wub juice is for. But I do have an essence cow right here. I also managed to get, I think I got molten silver as well. Here it is. Alright, yeah, molten silver. That's going to be handy for the future, because I'm going to need a lot of silver for a future build. But I'm happy that I got that one as well. But with this essence cow, I can put it down inside the platform and pump all of the essence that it creates into the mob duplicator. Now that I have these cows, I'm actually willing to bet that the reason why it's so stuttery over here isn't the amount of machines that I have going, although yes, that's definitely probably contributing, especially the Pulvis and Furnace setup, but it's probably these cows. I have had them running for quite a while, and yeah, I should probably get rid of them. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of all of these and only have the essence running here from now on. And the only purpose of the essence is to have it go to the bottom of the mob duplicator. So I have the essence cow hooked up, and I actually have the experience that's on me right now. Every once in a while, I'll just sit on the experience drain and have it fill into this quantum tank. So I have over 2 million XP juice. So I'm going to have that going in here as well. Into the fluid dictionary converter is going to convert the essence, and the essence is going to go up to the mob duplicator. Here we go. It's now full of essence. If I tried to put the mob imprisonment tool in here right now, it actually wouldn't go, because if you show the working area, you see the working area is 1 block right now, 1 block above and below, and that's being blocked by flux ducts and fluid ducts. So I'm going to have to make some range upgrades for these. Now, in order to make the range upgrades, I'm going to need some plastic, a glass pane. Oh, I don't need that one. And, oh, shoot, the powdered fuel. This powdered fuel right here, I should have mentioned it when I went over smeltery IO earlier, but this goes into a smeltery fuel machine block, and I couldn't get it to work properly. I didn't feel like mucking around with it. So, yeah, it's sitting in there, but it also acts as it also acts as like a coal or a charcoal, so you can burn it in anything that takes combustible fuel. I'm also going to need... Oh, should have gotten 2 more, but that's fine. Here we go. Alright, so the range add-ons. The thing about the range add-ons is I have a range add-on +1, +2, +3. I'm making the +3 right now, but I don't need any of the previous tiers in order to use all of the following tiers. So the range add-on +12, I could just make it right now, throw it into a machine, and have range +12. I only need the 3 because I have a small area I'm working with for the cows. So I made that. It's paused right now. Here's the range. Alright, perfect. Range add-on +3. So right now, I already have a liquid dirt. I do not have Constantan, but you can see it's working immediately. It's making me cows, and it's going to continue to spawn them until it doesn't find an area to spawn them anymore. I'm going to pause this right now and get rid of the working area. It's kind of a eyesore. Alright, Molten Signalum. That's nice. What is this? Liquid caramel. More nuclear craft stuff. Tomato juice. Iridium. Alright, so really the Constantan and the Signalum are the best ones that I got out of here. The liquid dirt actually could help me a little bit later on. Yeah, I'm going to have this going for a while, and I'm just going to have the cows constantly spawning and wandering off, and let's see how many we end up with. I now have quite a bit of cows, and I've sorted through them to figure out which ones are most useful to me. So these first 3 tabs are essentially useless cows for me right now. The ones that have immediate use are in the 4th tab, stuff like crystallized obsidian, and I brought this up in the last episode as something that I needed, namely, yeah, this crystallized obsidian from Cyclic. I forget what it was going to be useful for me for, but I do remember that I needed it for something. I actually think it was to make these obsidian plates, but now that I actually have it, I can use it to make these swords as well, because Dragon's Breath is no problem for me to get right now. Yeah, the amber, packed ice. Yeah, I can make all 3 of these swords from Cyclic. Regardless, I also have like the brass. Oh, yep, Zephyrium Erothium. That's very, very nice. I have every single one of the mystical agriculture metals, with the exception of Superium. And yeah, Supremium, Intermedium, Prudentium, and Inferium are all well and good, but unless I have that missing link, it's useless to me. The one that has the biggest use for me right now, hold on and let me find it. Here we go, Ferroboron. So later on when I get into nuclear craft, because I'm going to have to get into nuclear craft, Ferroboron is terrible to make. You need a lot of steel in order to make it, and a lot of boron. And boron, I just think boron is pretty easy to get in this pack. In previous packs, it has not been. But having ferroboron right off the bat is very helpful to me. So having this is going to make my life a lot easier in the future, which is why I have it in this side of the chest. I think I'm done having this run for a while until I'm ready to actually place all of these in cow stalls. But that is something for the future as I build onto the Triskelion. Later on, there are 3 sections and then a communications hub, like right around here. In the 3rd portion of the Triskelion is where I'm going to put all the cows. So yeah, that is a ways into the future. But I'm happy that I set this up right now. A weird thing that I did notice is I have two cows right here, both of which are liquid dirt. And this is something you're going to have to be careful about. I thought that the liquid dirt that I got earlier, which is this one right here, was going to be helpful to me. It is not. The dirt it's creating is animus dirt, and animus dirt cannot be turned into regular dirt that I know of. I'm going to have to play around with it a little bit. But, yeah, that's unfortunate. This one is Tinker's Construct dirt, and Tinker's Construct dirt is much more useful to me in the making of clay. It can also be used to make mud bricks. Mud bricks are a pretty good building block, one that I don't think I will use, but regardless, this is probably the more useful of the liquid dirt cows. The animus cow is whatever. We'll throw them in here regardless. And now we're going to move on to Cyberware. The first thing I want to make is the engineering table, because it says it's used to dismantle and create the Cyberware. So I'm going to place it over here, and as I've been killing mobs, I've been getting katanas, these polymer shields, and these biker jackets. It says that they can deconstruct them. So I am not sure. Void warranty. Oh, okay. So yeah, throw them in there, and they're just component parts. So these titanium meshes don't have a crafting recipe. I noticed earlier when I was going through all of this. So yeah, apparently this is how I make my titanium meshes. Like I said in the intro, I have not messed with whatever the name of Cyberware was in 1.7. I haven't messed with it in quite a while, so I'm going to throw in all of this stuff and continuously dismantle it. Once I've dismantled everything, I'll come back to you and go over what I'm going to use each of these parts for. It's honestly amazing to me that I do not recall anything about this mod. What I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to get a katana blueprint. I have a 15% chance of getting a blueprint since a piece of paper is in here. And, oh, there we go. Alright, so I have a katana blueprint. Now, if I want to make a katana, this requires 2 iron ingots, a titanium mesh, and chrome plating, all of which I have right here. Since I have the units right here, I can place the blueprint and get a katana out of it for whatever piece parts. I'm going to try to get the blueprint for the trench coat, the biker jacket, the mirror shades, and the carbon shield. Just because I want all the blueprints. I want 100% completion. So yeah, I'm going to try for all of that. I'm probably not going to get it for the biker jacket, considering I only have 3 of them. Same with the mirror shades, but we'll see. Now, I went through all of the items, and I managed to get all of the blueprints with the exception of the biker jacket, which is unfortunate, but whatever. I'm going to make something later on in this episode that will make it easier for me to get biker jackets to deconstruct. So we're going to move on to the next thing, which is the Cyberware charger and the surgery chamber. So the surgery chamber, Cyberware charger, and I think I went out of order in the quest book, so there we go. Alright, so now that quest is completed as well. I'm going to place down the surgery chamber. There we go. And I also have this robosurgeon right here, but if you look at the Robots Are Us surgery chamber, the rewards are already a robosurgeon and how do you pronounce that? I'm going to go with neuroposin. So yeah, I'm going to claim that as well. Now that I have the robosurgeon, place it on top of here. That's all well and good. I'm not ready for that anyway. What I want to do is I have a cyberware box right here, and everything that I've ever gotten from killing a cyber zombie is or a cyber skeleton is right in here. So these are all salvaged parts, and I want to know how I can absorb small impacts. Yeah, I don't know what I have to do with these. I can't break them down. The tooltip doesn't say that I can break them down. So I'm going to figure out what I can do with these, and I'll be back with you in just a little bit. So upon completing the Cyberware Engineering Table quest, I got Salvage Cyber Eyes, and I already have plenty of those in my mob drops. Well, not even sure if it's plenty, but yeah, I have 3 of them already. But from the one that I got from the quest, I'm going to make a Cyberware Scanner, which is one of the quests. Also going to make a Blueprint Archive and a Component Box. So shift-click to place or pick up, accessible by the engineering table if it's nearby. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this here and the component box right there. The component box is probably where I place all of this stuff. And yeah, we'll just place it all in. Oh, I cannot place it in there. are these the components? Yep, alright, so the chrome plating and the titanium mesh and stuff, those are the components. But the Cyberware scanner, insert paper and a Cyberware to scan. Okay. So it is, I have a 30% chance of getting the proper blueprint for this so I can actually make the manipulator. So right now the salvaged fine manipulators are a 3x3 personal crafting grid when I do get converted to a cyborg. Wow, this is very slow. But in any case, if it's not a salvaged fine manipulator and it's actually the regular manipulator, let's see here. 3x3 personal crafting, tolerance cost 2, tolerance cost 3. So the tolerance cost goes down, which means it's less chance for rejection. Okay, well I'm going to let this go and hopefully I get the blueprint. It's only a 30% chance for going this slow. 19 minutes left? I may have to create more Cyberware scanners. You know what I just realized? I'm at 10% chance now, which means the amount of items I have in here it's going to go through all 3 of these for a 30% chance. So it's 10% chance each. Ugh, I'm going to have to kill a lot of mobs. Now while I'm waiting for the Cyberware scanner to complete, and I have 13 minutes left on it, I just threw in some of the parts that I've already salvaged. And I got the solid state circuitry and the fiber optics, which means I am ready to make the radio kit. So the radio kit slightly increases cyber zombie spawns nearby. I actually want to make the radio beacon, which is going to require another solid state, but I have all of this. So yeah, I'm going to make the radio beacon and place it on the top of one of my towers because mobs do spawn up there. And yeah, I'm just going to kill cyber zombies and try to fill up my Cyberware slot before making more Cyberware scanners to get those blueprints. But yeah, I'm going to need one more of those, and yeah, let's make these. And here we are. I have the radio kit. That quest is now completed, and I'm going to immediately use it to make the radio beacon. And part of the radio beacon quest wants me to make 42 radio tower components. So I'm going to go do that, and I'm going to set this up over on the top of this tower. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, so the radio is complete. Now let's put the beacon on top. And there we go. Alright, it just completed itself. Well, I thought it completed itself, but the flashing is just a graphical glitch. Okay, well now we have to wait for nighttime to see whether or not this thing actually works. But yeah, it should absolutely be working. Well, the radio beacon seems to have worked because I already have quite a few of these cyber skeletons around here. Don't care about the spiders, but yeah, I already have a... Oh. The range doesn't seem to be that good. But that's fine. I'm going to continue slaughtering all of these until I have a decent amount of cyber parts. So it has become very obvious to me that I need to make a mob farm, and I also need to make a player kill mob farm as well, because yeah, that is very slow going, and it's only like a 20% increase in actually getting the parts that I want, or at least getting a cyber zombie. So yeah, that's not good. So I think next episode what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to craft up a mob farm. But let's see how this is going. What the heck? Did it start over because I left the area? Oh man, I really hope not. I managed to get the blueprint for the fine manipulators, and I have learned something about the difference between the scanner and the engineering table. So the scanner does not, under any circumstance, ever use whatever item you put into the slot to get the blueprint. It just takes a very long time, 20 minutes every single time, in order to run through whether or not you're going to get the blueprint. Whereas in the engineering table, I always have the chance, and I'm going to take the paper now, I always have the chance whenever I throw it in here to get the blueprint, but it's a 15% chance instead of the... Yeah, it is always a 15% chance that I get the blueprint whenever I add in the paper. So it's just a matter of whether or not you want to waste the parts or have an increased chance and wait longer without losing the parts in order to get your blueprint. So I have the fine manipulator's blueprint. That's all well and good. I'm going to go through and try to get the parts that I want, mainly the HUD. Yeah, definitely want the HUD, and I also want something that's going to generate the power. So looking over the stuff over here, this solar skin produces energy when in the sun, produces 4 power when in use. Tolerance cost is 12 though, whereas I actually have some solar skin here. Salvage synthetic skin. Yeah, salvage. The tolerance cost is 18 here. I'll go into the tolerance cost a little bit later when I actually have the parts I want to upgrade myself. But for now, I'm worried about getting the blueprint so I can manufacture the parts myself. And here we go. I have made the final part that I want to make, which is the bone lacing, and I'm ready to install them on my person. So using the RoboSurgeon, I'm going to click the parts that I care about. So I have a skin part. And the skin part right here, solar skin, boom. Now, at this interface, if I tried to remove my skin, it would issue a warning here. And actually, there we go. The warning, missing skin, damage will hurt more. And yeah, all of these warnings that pop up, there is a different type of skin that I could install on here. Let's see here. Synthetic skin. So I could install the synthetic skin on in place of the human skin. I'm not going to do that right now. But if I go back into the skin portion and click right here, then I've just added human skin. Human skin or all of your human parts will always be here no matter what. So you don't have to worry about collecting them or finding them. You will always have access to install your original body parts. But I am going to now go up to the eyeballs, because I need to install my cyber eyes, but unfortunately I can't install cyber eyes right now because the cyber eyes actively replace the human eyes. So I'm going to install those in that place, and now if I walk into the surgery box right over here, the surgery chamber rather, then I would get the cyber eyes installed. Now I'm going to remove those right now because I just want to show, alright, human eyes are still there. So I have 2 HUDs here. I have the HUD lens and the HUD jack. If I tried to install the HUD jack right now, it wouldn't work because I have human eyes, and the HUD jack requires cyber eyes in order to work. The HUD lens, however, I can install with human eyes. So this will display my internal power info, allows upgrades to overlay of a HUD. All of it's there in the tooltips. But if I wanted the if I wanted a HUD, but I have cyber eyes, I couldn't install the HUD lens. The HUD lens does not work with cyber eyes, which is why the HUD jack exists. Install that in there, and I'm going to move back down and install everything else. And here it is. The internal battery was my last part. So my internal battery, you'll see that I have a stack of 2. This can install up to 4, but I'm not going to be using all that much power anyway. So yeah, having 2 internal batteries is totally fine. I also have another thing that is stacked up, and that is in my bone slot. In my bone slot, I have the bone lacing, which will increase my health. I can have up to 5 in there, but I didn't feel like... Actually, you know what? I have more than enough tolerance to spare. So up here, this is my tolerance. The more upgrades that I install, my tolerance will go down. Once it reaches the 25% mark, then I will start rejecting all of these upgrades. And that is what the neoporazine, whatever the heck it's called. Where did I put it? The neuroposine is, that's where that comes in. If I was below 25%, then I would have to take one of these, and for 20 minutes, I wouldn't have to worry about the system rejecting me. And 20 minutes is a full Minecraft day. So I would have to take a daily injection of that in order to overcome my tolerance. So I'm going to make 2 more bone lacings. Nope, I can't because I still need the fillarine microstructures. That is terrible. Alright, so I'm going to have to kill some more mobs in order to get all of that. But now that I have all of my pieces in here, you see my index? These are all of the parts that I have. So when I go into the surgery chamber, what it's going to do is it has a minus right here. It's going to remove my human eyes and add these 3 things. So a plus means it's going to add whenever it does the surgery, and the minus is it's going to remove. I'm going to hop in there right now, and yes, I do have enough health. As you saw earlier, it starts removing health when you walk in there. So yeah, let's walk in. Close the door. Alright, there we go. So hold none to open the Cyberware menu. I have no power, so here we go. Now this is the Cyberware charger I made earlier. If I stand on there, and or it's daytime because I have a skin upgrade. Here we go. Alright, so because of my cyber eyes, I am only losing 1 of the power, and when it's daytime, I won't have to worry about that. Nothing I am wearing takes power except my cyber eyes. But if I'm in the sun, yep, it'll recharge me. Let's see. Nope, there is no visual difference to me whatsoever because I did not install any cyber limbs. The cyber limbs, they don't drop very often, which is unfortunate because I actually wanted to install a cyber leg and a cyber arm, but I don't have enough to reliably get the blueprint, or enough to just force myself to get the blueprint. So yeah, we're gonna hold off on actually giving myself some cyber limbs. Now that it is daytime, if you look in the upper left, you'll see that I am constantly gaining 4 power while I'm in the sunlight to recharge all of my batteries, and that is thanks to replacing my skin with solar cells. There is another battery that I wanted to upgrade, and yeah, it's the ultra dense capacitor. The ultra dense capacitor will give me 60,000 power unit capacity. It doesn't stack, however, it's in the lower organ slot, whereas the one that I am using, yeah, it's also lower organs. I thought it was something different. Regardless, I really want the ultra dense capacitor, but all of this stuff that you're looking at right now is it's about 8 hours of work. The cyber skeletons and the cyber zombies just don't spawn very often, even with the radio tower. And yeah, so 8 hours of just killing mobs, and this is all I have to show for it, minus the stuff that I threw in here for parts. And yeah, I'm not very impressed. I didn't get to replace the stuff that I wanted, mainly the cyber limbs. But there's also a sister mod that was dropping some stuff called Rewire. Here we go. So Rewired, I was looking through this stuff, and other than the charge power bars, nothing is really tickling my fancy. Like with this cyber stomach, I have one of these, and all it says is aids in digestion. I don't know what that means. Maybe it means that food is more effective for me? I don't know. And Rewired information is even more scarce than Cyberware. So I think I'm going to leave Rewired alone, other than this preservation tank and the charge power bar. But I am ready to close out this episode. In between episodes, I'm not really going to do much. I'm just going to work on episode 2 of the... oh, I forgot something. I have configured Cyberware so that if I press period, then you see that this is a HUD where I can disable my night vision, and I can disable the HUD altogether. I don't want the HUD disabled, and I definitely want my night vision enabled, because it doesn't take any extra power to have it activated. But yeah, like I said, in between episodes, I'm just going to work on episode 2 of Kelly Construction and finally get the Triskelion. And I am just going to try to get the Triskelion up to snuff with episode 2. But I am Kelly Engineering, and I hope that you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.